Hello, I'm Tim Odom. I'm the president of the AAM Group. We bring you the Total Truck Center and Performance Corner programs. And one of our very valued partners is RealTruck. And there's been some changes in that organization over the past year. And today, Adam Donahue, the vice president of Truck Bed Covers, is here to talk with us about those changes and what it means for our jobber reseller accounts. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Tim, how you doing? Thank you very much for having me, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. Thank you for giving us your time today. So it was really interesting. A little over a year ago, Carl Martin Lindahl, the new CEO of RealTruck, came to our meeting and he laid out his plan for some significant changes that were going to take place with the organization, and they were huge. They were really big, and it was hard to believe that they could be pulled off. But now we're in the middle of those changes, and they are happening. And one of the things he talked about was this bold new plan for RealTruck, where they were going to work on this process of taking the brands and consolidating them and creating the RealTruck brand identity in a store environment. Tell me about that, and what was the purpose and the mission for this initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. So as Carl Martin came into the organization and started to understand where we have opportunity to drive growth for RealTruck, one of the things that we quickly understood is that we had a large brand portfolio. And we were investing small amounts in lots of different brands. And one opportunity that we had is to consolidate our investment and our focus and really drive consumer attention and understanding around a holistic central brand, RealTruck. And so we've endeavored to consolidate all of those brands through a stepped process by which we do a dual branding to connect our legacy brands with RealTruck. And then ultimately we'll launch a single brand as RealTruck in order to create that singular awareness with the consumer. And this is part of a long-term strategy that we've laid out and we'll sort of implement over a series of months and years. And really the goal here is to be able to generate demand with consumers for truck accessories. We understood that there's a large percentage of consumers who are not aware of the accessory market.
Right.
According to SEMA data, 51%, they don't participate. And so our ambition and our aim and really sort of our interest in the accessory market is to, as one of the leaders, is to really help and support that initiative to grow awareness and grow consideration for consumers to buy truck accessories.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've heard from the RealTruck team over several years is there is a very real belief in the organization that the pie can get bigger. So it's not a matter of reslicing the pie, but rather grow the pie so there's more for everybody to have. And we can't be unhappy about that, can we?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a 6-pillar strategy within RealTruck. And the first pillar is really to that aim, Tim. It is really to generate demand for every vehicle. We want to make sure that we're growing the entire aftermarket category and really increasing the awareness of truck accessories, of vehicle accessories. And then ultimately in our aim, we want to make sure that that consumer is understanding and aware of the RealTruck brand and chooses us as their primary source for products.
Right, right. So, obviously our jobber resellers are not familiar with being identified with the RealTruck brand. And that was one of the things that Carl Martin laid out as one of the tenets of this plan, was to take the RealTruck brand identity and use it to support local jobber installers. Could you expound on that concept and its progress and, explain how this relates to our many jobbers in the field?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I'd like to touch on is that we have launched a holistic and very large scale advertising program, again, to achieve that aim of driving awareness. It really kicked off in May of this year. We're spending over $90 million to invest through multiple different online channels, such as social media, YouTube, and connected TV like Hulu, Amazon, and those types of platforms in order to engage that audience. The goal there is threefold. We want to increase brand awareness for the RealTruck brand.
Okay.
We want to increase brand consideration. So we want people to, one, know who we are, 2, want to buy our products, and
Right.
3, we want to drive category awareness, really, which is the entire pie. And then ultimately what we want to do is help facilitate a connection to a sale. And in large part, what we've done is made some meaningful changes to enable that sale to happen at our brick and mortar dealer locations. And there are 2 reasons behind that. One, online research is sort of hard in this category. When you're a novice trying to accessorize your vehicle, it's intimidating. We have lots of different products. We make lots of different bed covers. We make lots of different steps. And as someone who isn't an expert coming into the category, and doing their first set of research, it can be a little scary.
Right.
So once they've gone through that initial research, there's a huge component of this, which is to how to validate your decision. And this is where our brick and mortar retailers are so essential. They are the expert and authoritative source to say, hey, you've started doing some research. I can help you understand whether that was a good decision or a bad decision.
Right.
Is this tonneau cover really going to meet your needs, or do you need something different? And hey, I can recommend what that is. I can show you what it actually looks and feels like, how it operates. And oh, by the way, I can install that product for you, which we know is the largest barrier to purchase. People are intimidated to say, I don't really want to touch my car. I don't want to mess with the truck bed, or I don't have the proper tools to do this installation.
Right.
And so our brick and mortar retailers are essential to connecting the dot from where we're trying to drive awareness at a category and brand level, and that's our responsibility, and connect that customer on their shopping journey to our brick and mortar retailer, because they are going to be the one that really helps cement that decision process, validates that research, and then ultimately is able to install that product seamlessly so the customer has a perfect shopping experience.
One of the things I said last year at our meeting when we talked about the value of jobbers locally is that, and no offense meant to any brand, but they'll make multiple products and say they're all the best.
Yes.
This is the best. This is the best, and you're the vice president of truck bed covers. You've got several best truck bed covers, and right, and they may be best for a certain opportunity, a certain application. But as that's the real value of local stores, is not just the installation, but the validation. Consumers spend a lot of time researching, and we can't expect a consumer to come into a store not having done some of that already.
Yeah. Yes.
But those often create questions, and it comes down to the expertise in that store to help identify the customer's real needs and maybe budget, and determine the product that fits there. So,
and then ultimately of looking at the entire assortment. So they may identify that they were interested in a tonneau cover for bed protection. And once they've come in and actually had a conversation with a jobber and are talking to that counter salesperson, they may understand that there's a whole plethora of accessories that are available to them that meet different needs, like adding a bed rug for insulated protection, and tailgate seals and steps and all the different things that we make. There's this whole ecosystem that the retailer really plays a critical role in, because they're able to have that conversation. They're able to feel out the customer and understand their needs. And so we recognize that as a really critical part of the shopping journey.
Yeah, one of the things that I've heard jobbers say to us over many years, I've been traveling and seen many of them, and they tell me, if I can get a customer in my store, that's one of the values of a customer coming to my store versus buying online. They will learn about more products. I will take that customer and I will turn them into a broader customer. We'll turn them into an enthusiast, and that's part of how we grow the overall industry. Is we create more enthusiasts and consumers out there.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen a lot of commercials that are being shown now for RealTruck, and I really appreciate the fact that at the end of that commercial it says to find a local dealer. I believe that to have had some effect. We're seeing impacts in terms of purchases. Can you share some data there?
Yeah, so at a high level, the numbers from our advertising campaign is that we have generated, since the inception of the campaign, over 1.2 billion impressions. Now, impressions is a word that gets tossed around a lot, but really that is an engagement with a piece of advertising. We've touched 68 million different consumers with our advertising campaign. And ultimately, that is leading to an average frequency or a touch point over multiple times with a single customer of over 15. So we're engaging with consumers multiple times across multiple platforms with our products and messaging. One of the big changes, though, that we have made is that we have changed the structure of where our dealer locator is on our product detail page. So when someone has landed on the specific back MX4 for their Chevy Silverado, the dealer locator option is now higher and right next to the product checkout process. Again, we want to make sure that we're connecting consumers with where they want to shop. This has driven over 550,000 clicks on individual dealers. And we have generated more than 100 leads to over 1,600 jobbers across the United States. So we're generating a tremendous amount of traffic and really connecting that consumer shopping research and consideration all the way down to the brick and mortar location where they can go physically purchase that product. And that's a lot of great data. But one of the things that we're really doing is following up with our retailers through surveys to say, hey, is this making a difference? And one of the things that we got in our last survey is that customers and our dealers are saying, we're seeing increased demand for RealTruck products, and we're seeing increased conversion in your category, i.e. more customers are coming in looking for RealTruck branded products as a response to the things that you guys are doing both on advertising and connecting that consumer with the retailer.
That's great. So if you're a local jobber, a member of our Total Truck Center or Performance Corner program, and they want to make sure that they're represented in that dealer locator, what do they need to do?
So they need to be authorized as a RealTruck retailer, work with their local territory sales manager to make sure that their data is up to date. And there are a couple things that I would recommend doing that are critical to improve both the connection from the consumer from the realtruck.com to the physical location. Make sure your Google profile is up to date. Have a great website. Partner with AAM to make sure that their website is modern, fresh, and has relevant content on it. These are things that consumers validate as they look from coming to a website like RealTruck to a local truck accessory store. And you want to make sure that online presence is as professional as your in-store experience. So really making sure that you're thinking about how do we take that online shopping research and connecting that to an offline experience. Those touch points are really critical.
And as you know, Aftermarket Websites has long been a partner of RealTrucks. And one of the things that we built was the ability to merchandise your instant rebate program through that platform, so that it not only merchandises your product brands, but also participates in the marketing you do. So we're very thankful for the partnership with RealTruck for our websites. One of the newest developments in this rollout is the new wholesale website that you have built for jobbers. Could you share that a moment?
Yeah. So we've been listening to our jobber network. We've been listening to our wholesale partners. And one of the big requests that we had was we needed an information data source for the aftermarket, which was just exclusive to RealTruck products, that didn't have pricing and really had specialized tools for the jobber and our wholesale partners. And so we developed wholesale.realtruck.com. You can go to that URL. It's not Google listed, so no consumers can find it. But if you type in wholesale.realtruck.com, you'll go to a specialized site specifically designed for our jobber network that has access to all of our product information, unique search tools, part lookup tools. There's no pricing. And so it can be a really great tool as you have customers come in the door. You can turn your screen around and help show them an assortment of products that you may not have in stock or on display of what is available to them that you can then purchase through your preferred distributing partner.
Okay, well, that's great. And we observed the need. There were changes as we transitioned from the branded sites to the RealTruck site. There were some piece of content that went away, and it's good to see you've addressed this situation.
And
Well,
this is an evolving website. So one of the things that I would advocate to the audience is if you have feedback or requests, please send them in through your territory team and your sales representative. We've got a pipeline of things that we want to add to that website and improve it further. So this is not just a one and done. This is something that we want to continue to evolve and iterate on and to make it a successful tool for our retail partners.
Adam, are there any other initiatives related to jobber engagement that RealTruck is working on at this time or has been working on?
Yeah, we have three that I just wanted to touch on. The first is that we've launched in 2024 what we're calling the Rev Up program, which is how we coalesce and put together all of our different dealer incentives and spiff programs. Year to date, we've invested over $500,000 back into jobbers and brick and mortar stores, and we're going to continue to invest in those programs in order to drive profitability for our brick and mortar retailers. We've also completed over 8,000 different jobber visits this year in partnership with our AAM distributors to make sure that we're educating dealers, providing knowledge, information, and support, and really ensuring that we are a partner there physically in the store. And the last thing is that we've got our double warranty program, and I think this is an important one for jobbers to know about, in that you can only have a jobber or a double warranty on a product if you purchase that product in store through one of our authorized retailers. So we really are trying to set apart the experience that consumers have in a brick and mortar store as opposed to different channels that they can purchase our products from.
Well, that sounds like some great benefits with the double warranty program. That certainly is a unique way. I like to use that as a call to action in a store environment. So you're going to buy it somewhere, you can buy it here, and there's a benefit besides just having to try to reduce the price when we have unilateral price programs. I know AAM is working with RealTruck to build some signage for in-store so that stores can associate the RealTruck name in the store environment as well.
Yes. And one of the initiatives that we have, I know we're going to touch on some future programs in Q4, but something that's happening right now is we're actually rebranding all of our truck bed cover header cards on our displays. And those will be coming into the market here shortly, where we've associated the dual branding. We've increased some lifestyle imagery and really called out the features and benefits of each of our truck bed covers to help the selling process for jobbers.
So the goal here is to create a RealTruck presence that isn't just an online presence, but it's a physical presence too.
Absolutely. We really want to make sure that we're connecting that online research with the point of sale of where the customer can come in and they can experience RealTruck in a physical environment in a way that is only accessible in a brick and mortar store. I do have a couple things that I wanted to just mention in terms of upcoming initiatives that we have in the fourth quarter here. So certainly we've tried to make some investments here year to date through the first 3 quarters of the year, but we do have 3 things that are coming up in the fourth quarter that I want to make sure jobbers are aware of. One is a robust Q4 promotional calendar that is going to be in line with our omni-channel and instant saving program, so the consumer can shop in any environment and get the same price. So we have equal participation across our channel network. So information is coming out and it'll be available on that. We're getting really excited of going deep on our critical and core products in order to drive volume and profitability for our channel partners. We have a new merchandising concept that we're coming out, which is RealTruck centered, of how do we bring RealTruck to life in stores. We're going to be launching that at SEMA, and so we'll be communicating that through our partners this fall. And then the last thing is we made an acquisition over the summer called Protex. And for those that haven't heard about Protex is a new configuration tool. This is a online module that we're going to have on our website, as well as we're going to be launching in a future in-store concept. But the whole idea here is really on how to help consumers visualize the art of the possible. How can I play with different tonneau covers, select different steps and roof racks, and understand what that looks like on my vehicle? It has an augmented reality feature, so you can put it in your driveway and walk around it. You can open the products and close the doors and really engage with the vehicle and the different configuration of products that you've chosen, so that the consumer can really bring their truck to life through a shopping journey. And then again, connect that to the store so that the expert advisor in brick and mortar can validate that experience and install all those fun products that they've picked out in that tool. So exciting things to come in the fourth quarter that we think are going to drive profit and engagement with our customers.
Did you say open the door?
Yes, sir. Open the door and the tailgate.
Well, that's great. We can see that Husky product in the floor now, can't we?
Absolutely, yes. Full visibility of all the Husky liners.
Well, I think this is an invitation to any jobbers that are going to the SEMA show this year to make sure they come by and see the RealTruck booth. You'll see some exciting things there. And if you're not going to the show, we will be putting all this information out to you via our pulse emails and our weekly emails, so you'll be able to keep up with all the changes going on with RealTruck. Again, Adam, thank you very much for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you at the SEMA show and at other industry events.
Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you for the AAM team support.